Money chop bill, wagons you, wagwajao, one anywhere, one anywhere, go. So yesterday was the IWU Festival of Ubulu-Uku people. And myself, as a person who promotes Igbo culture and tradition, I decided myself and my lovely wife to take our children to experience their very first IWU Festival because we are not in our hometown. We live in a city close to my hometown. As a child, my very first IWU Festival was, I can say, when I was 1 year old because we didn't relocate. I was in that hometown when I was born and brought up there. So the IWU festivals, I started seeing it as a child until we started growing up and a lot of things happened. For my wife, I would like her to share her experience. When was your first IWU festival?
I can't remember when, no, but I know that in my home, it's not something that we're allowed to go out and celebrate. There was this belief around it, so it's not something that we were allowed to go out there and celebrate with others. But I also know that we always come out when we see them passing, we'll come out from our house and then we'll stand and watch. That was just the only time we had to experience it. But somehow there was this particular year, and personally, I wanted to have that experience. So we had this family friend, like a family friend, but a family relative, like a distant relative that lives around the palace. So I intentionally told my mom that I wanted to go and get something from them. Well, I think I was asked to go there and get something from them the previous day, but I prolonged it so I will go on the EU festival. So fortunately, I got there and they are somehow part of the royal family. I know they'll remember if some of them are going to watch this video. So when I got there, they had already cooked. For some families in Ubulu-Uku, so when I got there, they had already cooked in full preparation for the festival. Of course, in my own home, we usually cook. My mom cooks, but
what kind of soup?
Egusi soup.
Egusi soup is the soup now.
So she always cooks, but we don't go outside. Like we don't go. Yes, wear the aquacha and paint yourself. We don't usually have that experience or opportunity to do so. So when I got there, they had already prepared for the festival. In fact, it was as if they lived in the center of the town, like where the thing was
I think I know that your auntie or relative.
So my
mama.
Yes.
So, the royal family.
So I had the opportunity of seeing everything. So it was really a great experience. I had to even go to the palace. So that was the first time I experienced that.
Wow.
They usually have a wrestling competition. So
around what year can this be?
That's a long time ago. That's
10 years, 15?
No, that's more than 10 years. That should be like 15 years. 15 years ago.
Wow.
That should be or more.
Okay.
So I had the opportunity of experiencing it firsthand.
Let me help you put this in perspective. My wife is a daughter of teachers. She's from a family of teachers who are usually strict disciplinarians. So for us, who are from a very large family that is close to the road, I don't know how many of the children you'll be able to tell don't go here or don't go there. We're already there because the place where the festival usually takes center stage, where every Alomu person must come together, is in my lineage, or Wa or Dafe. The Dafe title holder is the leader of all the chiefs from Alomu. And Alomu is like the larger part of Ubulu-Uku community, so they usually come there first. Bianaka, Kenesi or Dafe. I was surprised to see that yesterday's festival, when they get to the front of the Ogwo Dafe, each group will usually have a kind of argument whether to go in or not to go in. Then some will choose to proceed, some will now choose. So these are groups from Alomo who are obliged to first of all go and pay homage to the Odafe before they proceed to the palace. So that's one of the changes I noticed during yesterday's festival. And something very, very unique We took our children to experience the festival. What do you think? I want her to share from my experience because you see, things work when two people work together. If I had said I'm taking my children to the festival and my wife says no, both of us are from the same hometown. If she says no, I may not have that will to say, let me take them because I cannot be making videos and still carry two children going around. So it was her who made this possible. What do you think parents should learn from taking their children to their community's traditional festivals? Some people think it is fetish, okay? So that's why even most parents, when I was small, when I was younger, we attend a very popular Pentecostal church. I don't want to mention the name of the church now, but on the day of IWU Festival and INE, they will fix a church program mandating you to be there. We who are core members of the church, I was a child minister, we must be there. So that way, you must miss the festival. So what do you think taking children to such festival when some people already have that idea that IWU Festival is fetish? What do you think?
From my experience, I think it is not a bad thing. Growing up, I personally think my parents were neutral. They did not they did not have this belief. It was not They did not say it to us that this is bad, don't do this, don't join them. But I think they had the fear of, I don't want to let my children go. I don't want them to get missing. I don't want them to miss.
Overindulgence.
Yes. So it's not because they believe that it was bad. Because sometimes I know my mom used to tell us how to go and celebrate Iwu and how interesting it was. But we did not have the opportunity. And somehow in life, I think my siblings also did not want to experience it. But for me as a person, I wanted to have that experience to know what it really means and what is really happening in the festival. I like to explore. I like to experience things and have my own personal conclusion on that issue. So I think parents should allow their children to experience festivals um, for their own interest, and let them make their decisions and
When they grow.
conclusions themselves. When they grow up, they'll be able to differentiate that, okay, this is fetish and this is not fetish, or this is not bad and this is bad. So, but if you don't allow them to experience it, they will not be able to differentiate. They will just assume based on the conclusion of others, not from their own personal experience.
Yes.
And for me, it's a different experience. I mean, imagine somebody that is born and brought up in Ubulu-Uku and cannot even say that, okay, this is how they celebrate you and this is how someone else has to narrate it to you. It doesn't make any sense.
At all.
Doesn't make any sense. For their knowledge, even in schools, there are some courses you take up in schools and you're asked to write about the festival. Imagine you were born and brought up in Ubulu-Uku, you cannot even say anything about the culture of festival. It doesn't make
something
any
very,
sense.
very interesting. I have to add something here. So every year, students from different universities contact us to assist them with materials for their research projects. Some of them, this is their final year project, and they are given a topic that is centered on culture and tradition. And guess what? When you ask this person, which lineage are you from? They don't even know. Just like I saw some children yesterday and interacted with them, asking them, who is Ezemu? What is Iwu? They don't even know anything at all.
Yes, no bafai.
Kosi.
You want to bafai?
Vale.
You want to bafai?
Chinye Lucky.
Okay, ni enjono. Assemble. Kibu.
Amana.
Kibu.
Where's me?
You marry.
So I felt this year's festival was very, very important for us because we needed to use this opportunity to teach people about the festival, the essence of it, the songs that come from it. And also, maybe she forgot to mention, we are Catholics. And we saw Reverend Fathers also participating in the festival. So there's nothing fetish about our festival. It is a festival that celebrates peace. The history of the festival is something we will try to sit down and tell in one of our videos. But this time, I would like us to make you have a little feel of what the festival was like by singing the song. My wife will be responding. I'll be singing. Ogogo,
Oh,
ogogo,
oh,
ogogo,
oh,
ezemuo, oshianio, oso kanka o, ori ogede o, oso akanenka o, ogeri ogede o, aṣọ dị mma o, anyị ga-eji o, aṣọ adịna mma o, anyị ga-eji o, olumigwe o, ọmani o, olumani o, ọtọ anyị n'afọ o, olumigwe o, ọmani o, olumani o, ọtọ anyị n'afọ o, ya gbake mgba o, ịdịbọ ọzọ o, ya gbake mgba o, ịdịbọ ọzọ o, ya gbake mgba o, mgbe ada mma o, ọnịcha okpe o, wagwọ nsị o, wagwọ aja o, ole n'iwe o, ole n'iwe o, ogogo. I had some repetitions in this because I am not a lead singer. A lead singer will avoid those repetitions. They are necessary. You have a lot of things to say. But there are plenty historical facts that came out from that song. They say Onichokbe, Wagwansi Wagwaja. Remember, it was Onichokbe people that Ezemu, our founder, handed his pot of charm to. So they are the ones in charge of medical and spiritual practice. So we say Wagwansi Wagwaja. That is, there's nothing they don't heal. Only anyway, that means we are saying it will no, their medicine will no longer be potent anymore. But themselves, when they sing this part, they will say, Onichokbe oho, Wagwansi Wagwaja olele. They will be telling people that their charms are very potent, very effective. While we will be saying it will never work for them. So that's a banter kind of.
No, I think that's the bad side of their medicine.
Yes.
Like when they are doing the medicine for evil purposes. Yes. I think that's what they mean by
it will not work for them. Yeah. That's one interesting aspect. Then we say Olumigwe Omani. Olumani or Toaninafo. That's when the clouds form in the sky, it rains on the earth. But when the clouds form on the earth, it remains in the stomach of the earth. That is to tell people that whenever you are planning evil for someone, we say Otoinafo, it will remain with the person and perish with that person. And our children, being from this community, we wanted them to have a first-hand experience of the festival.
So that they can
make up their mind later. So that people will not be the ones telling my own children, a great historian, about the story of their community. And my wife, interestingly as well, her uncle is one of the pioneer authors. You can talk about him.
Yes, I forgot to add that my uncle from my maternal side is one of the authors of the history of Ubulu-Uku. So long before I even met my husband, I had read his book. So I have a knowledge of the history of Ubulu-Uku. So I personally wanted, one of the reasons I went for the festival then, over 15 years ago, was because I wanted to experience some of those things I have read in that book. Do you understand? Because I already have a knowledge of what is happening, but I wanted to have you are in the same hometown. What is stopping you? So I wanted to go down there and see things for myself. And even as of then, when I went there, I know people were saying, you will maybe singer, you will maybe singer, you will maybe. For them, it will maybe singer. As of that time, yes, as of 15 years ago.
Yes.
But as for me, it was such a beautiful experience because I've never had the opportunity to have something. I think I remember some time when I was very little. I remember somebody took me there. That time, so I remember.
Her name is Adeke Nwugbo.
I can't remember the person particularly that took me then. I think a distant cousin. And I remember there was a time when we got there, because there's usually so many people. When we got there, she held me. I'm like, no believe that. So come out that event. It didn't leave my mind. So anytime I hear Iwu, I'm always scared. So when I grew older and I read that book, I wanted to have another experience. So that was when I went. I think yesterday was the third time. Funny enough, that's why I was going about.
And for you who would want to say, you may want to say, her maternal side. My wife is somebody who grew up in her maternal home. We Igbos usually say Neka, Ebo Neka. Now, from her teenage years, she lived with her grandmother in her maternal home. So this uncle we're talking about, she lived in the same building, the same ezinono with the uncle. He's a very assertive person, very, very friendly. He's an extrovert, I should say.
Yeah, he is.
He mingles with everybody. Any opportunity he has with you, he will tell you history. We have not even mentioned the name of this uncle. That's very sad. What is your uncle's name?
Emmanuel Ikem, Mr. Emmanuel.
And that is the Ima, Ikem, and Obi Ajulu Anene that you usually see at the reference of every history book from Enuani and from Anioma. Thank you for watching this very interesting episode analyzing the IWU Festival of the Ubulu-Uku people. We're still going to do more videos to talk about this very beautiful festival and other cultural festivals in Igbo land. Thank you and do have a very wonderful day. In case you enjoyed watching this video, look through our channel. You will see even the full video of the festival and other very interesting videos on our platform to watch. From my wife, Nwanna Amaka.
Thank you very much. Do well to like, share, and comment.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.